my friends, and welcome back to Mass Effect. In yesterday's video, we wrapped up all of our questing on Pharos and made our way back to Normandy and ended the day with an excessively awkward conversation with Liara, because what other kind would I have? So in today's video, we are going to have no doubt more awkward conversations because Kaidan is next on my list, and also talk to the rest of my crew. But before we do all of that, I want to do some Codex entries. So again, primary is fully done, so let's go to, Council Races still has some. Oh, we have Asari Religion. I must have picked that up when I finished my horrible conversation with Liara yesterday. But anyway, the Codex entry says the pantheistic mainstream Asari religion is Siari, which translates roughly as all in one. The faithful agree on certain core truths. The universe is a consciousness, every life within it is an aspect of the greater whole, and death is a merging of one's spiritual energy back into the greater universal consciousness. Siaris don't specifically believe in reincarnation. They believe that spiritual energy returned to the universal consciousness upon death will eventually be used to fill new mortal vessels. Siari became popular after the Asari left their homeworld and discovered their ability to meld with nearly any form of life. This ability is seen as proof that all life is fundamentally similar. Siari priestesses see their role as promoting unity between the disparate shards of the universe's awareness. Before the rise of Siari pantheism, Asari religions were as diverse as their political opinions. The strongest survivor of those days is the monotheistic religion worshipping the goddess Athame. Like the Asari, the goddess cycles through the triple aspects of maiden, matron, and matriarch. Well, that was extremely interesting. I love the world building, especially with all the different races. So, let's see, planets and locations. We have Arcturus Station. Again, I feel like this has been brought up, but I could not tell you where. Arcturus Station is the gateway to Sol, a 5-kilometer diameter Stanford tourist-type space station at the trailing Lagrange point of the gas giant Themis. Construction on Arcturus Station began in 2151 and concluded in 2162. It was inaugurated in 2156 and has served as the military and political headquarters of the Systems Alliance from the First Contact War into the present. Again, it must have been brought up just in conversation and passing. Anyway, not important. Well, kind of, but anyway, not important. When humanity activated the Charon mass relay in 2149, it led to Arcturus, 36 light years from Sol, Earth's sun. Arcturus is the third brightest star seen from Earth. It is an ancient red giant from the generation born before Sol. Its worlds are either gas giants or ice chunks. When some rocky debris exists, the metal content is 25% lower than normal. To build Arcturus Station, metallic asteroids were towed through the mass relays to the construction site. Many of these asteroids remain near the station, their mined-out areas home to transient populations. The expense of bringing construction materials into the system was acceptable due to its strategic value. With 3 primary mass relays in addition to the secondary one to Sol, Arcturus is a major communications and military choke point. The Alliance First Fleet is based in Arcturus, where it can guard the gates to Sol and react to incursions in 3 connected clusters. The station also hosts the Systems Alliance Parliament and the Systems Alliance Military General Headquarters. Its permanent population is approximately 45,000. Wow. Arcturus is actually from the galactic halo, one of a cluster of 52 stars that are crashing through the disk of the galaxy. In 1 billion years, Arcturus will be sailing through the depths of extragalactic dark space. I wonder if we could go there. I mean, I don't know if we can go there in this game, but I wonder if it's an option like in future games, if not this one. But anyways, let's do one more, ships and vehicles, and we are on to Starship thrusters. A Mass Effect drive core decreases the mass of a bubble of spacetime around a ship. This gives the ship the potential to move quickly, but does not apply any motive power. Ships use their sublight thrusters for motive power at FTL. There are several varieties of thruster varying in performance versus economy. All ships are equipped with arrays of hydrogen-oxygen reaction control thrusters for maneuvering. Ion drives electrically accelerate charged particles as a reaction mass. They are extremely efficient but produce negligible thrust. They are mainly used for automated cargo barges. The primary commercial engine is a fusion torch, which vents the plasma of the ship's power plant. Fusion torches offer powerful acceleration at the cost of difficult heat management. Torch fuel is fairly cheap, helium-3 skimmed from a gas giant and deuterium extracted from seawater or cometary bodies. Propellant is hydrogen, likewise skimmed from gas giants. In combat, military vessels require accelerations beyond the capability of fusion torches. Warship thrusters inject antiprotons into a reaction chamber filled with hydrogen. The matter-antimatter annihilation provides unmatched motive power. The drawback is fuel production. Antiprotons must be manufactured one particle at a time. That's awful. Most antimatter production is done at a massive solar arrays orbiting energetic stars, making them high-value targets in wartime. Yeah, I bet. So the exhaust of fusion and antiproton drives is measured in millions of degrees Celsius. Any vessel caught behind them will melt like wax in a blowtorch. Yeah. Any long-duration interstellar flight consists of two phases, acceleration and deceleration. Starships accelerate to the halfway point of their journey, then flip 180 degrees and apply thrust on the opposite vector, decelerating as they finish the trip. The engines are always operating and peak speed is attained at the middle of the flight. Again, some of this stuff is like right over my head because science, but the fact that somebody had to sit there and figure all this out is awesome and crazy and awesome all at the same time. All right, well, let's see what Kaidan has to say. So yesterday's conversation with Liara, she was flirting with me and she's interested in me, but I had to shut her down because I don't see her that way. She's totally, like I said, I was trying to poorly say, like my little sister, like a girlfriend you go have drinks with, not like, having romantic interest in. And I guess Kaidan is also flirting with me, and I feel like I picked up on that the last time a little bit, but I don't know. He doesn't seem very interesting. He's a biotic, so that's kind of interesting, but he just doesn't seem very interesting. There are other companions I have that I'm much more interested in, but I don't know if I get to romance them. But anyway, there's my rambling thoughts. So let's just talk to him and see what happens.
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Absolutely. I'm listening. Personal crap. Not interested. Sure, I'm listening.
Let's hear it, Lieutenant. I'm always open to my officers.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Commander?
I don't understand cutting corners for what? Shepard, how informal are you concerned about me? Obviously he's concerned, but let's see. I don't need your approval. I don't like that option. I don't like the Shepard, how informal option either. So we're going to go with, are you concerned for me?
This a personal observation, Kaidan?
Maybe that's not my place. I don't want to send any bad signals, Commander. Just, working on what I've picked up. You tell me if I'm going too far.
What's your logic? Stop being vague? Can he stop being vague?
I'd love to, but I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
It's just my experience that once someone lets something slide, it tends to pick up speed. Do you get my meaning?
Not a bad experience? You have an example? No, cut to the chase? Can you just tell me what you mean? I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be angry Shepard, but can you just can you stop with the innuendos? Because I'm not picking up on them very well.
Alenko, if you have one failure, it's an inability to speak directly.
Sorry. I'm not looking to dump any baggage, Shepard. You know the records about the biotic training out on Jump Zero? They're all classified, because the Alliance made mistakes. After first contact, Kinetics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Codex could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
Okay. Why couldn't experts?
The only experts would have to be aliens.
Dead on. Turians, actually. That's why Codex kept it a secret. They were afraid of what people back home would think, asking the Turians for help when we just fought a war with them.
Yeah, why not the Asari?
And the Asari would have been more acceptable than the Turians.
Yes, but the company didn't go through the Citadel. It would have made Earth look weak, so they discreetly hired some Turian mercenaries.
Okay, so why couldn't we do it alone?
Is there some reason we couldn't learn it on our own?
They didn't know where to start. Hell, it took a couple of years to even link biotics and Ezo. Forget trying to get the kids to move stuff. They had trouble just helping them not break their own limbs. And their choice of teachers didn't help much.
I'm sure they meant well you did what you had to do. You had bad teachers?
Get your knuckles rapped a few times, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you could say that. Our instructor was a Turian by the name of Commander Vernus. To introduce himself, he liked to say, "I was at the helm of the dreadnought that killed your father." Well, I told him my dad wasn't in the war. He'd retired to Vancouver. My family had an inland home that matured to new beachfront.
Oh.
Vernus had it in for me after that. He cut corners, pushed hard. I mean, you either came out a Superman or a wreck. A lot of kids snapped. A few died. The point of all of this, I guess, is that when you cut corners, it's not always obvious who pays for it.
This is the part where I fixed you. I don't see the connection. Why are you telling me all this? Because, again, I feel like I'm not getting it. I feel like my conversations with Kaidan are very difficult for me to understand. And I'm not stupid. I mean, I sometimes act stupid, but I'm not stupid. I just don't understand what you're trying to get at, Kaidan.
So why are you telling me this? Is there something I can do to help you get over it?
I'm 32, Shepard. You don't serve as long as I have without coming to terms with yourself. You also learn that if someone is special to you, you help them. Try to keep them from making mistakes.
I don't really want to romance Kaidan. I really don't. I just don't. So, if you're assuming a lot, maybe?
So you think you have leave to talk like we're more than officers?
I got some signals. Maybe some static too, I guess.
Uh-huh.
If I'm out of line, just say the word.
You're out of line. I'm interested, but not now. No, I'm not interested. I don't want to be mean, but I don't want to lead him on either.
Sorry, Kaidan. This was just a battlefield thing.
There's my answer then. I'm sorry to have bothered you, Commander. I got some mixed signals. With your permission, I should return to my duties.
That's fine. I mean, when did I give you signals? Did I give him signals? I'm sorry, Kaidan. I didn't mean to lead you on. Or Liara. I'm sorry.
Anything you need, Commander?
Tactical appraisal?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I'm glad there aren't many aliens like the Thorian. I don't think my stomach could take it. One of my cousins has an agribusiness. I was thinking of calling him. Maybe he can get some shipments into Feros.
Oh.
I mean, now that they're cut off from the company.
Oh. Okay, looking for personal input?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
I don't want another personal debriefing. I feel like I just broke two people's hearts, but I'm just not. Liara's like my little sister. Kaidan's just a coworker. I'm just not interested. They're just not. It's not it for me. Let me talk to Liara one more time.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
Nothing important?
I just wanted to talk.
Fair enough. What did you want to talk about?
Okay, I guess that's it.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Goodbye. I don't know why I'm trying to justify my Shepard's thoughts, but I just sort of am. Okay, so we've done both those two. That's my bedroom, right? Is there anything new in here? I mean, it's so empty and sad. It is so empty and sad. Oh, well. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. Try to get downstairs. Well, I shouldn't need to try to get downstairs. Just try to get downstairs quicker, I suppose. Okay, so let's save. I'll do my gear in a minute, so let's talk to Garrus.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with C-Sec a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
Anything specific?
I bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
Disturbing. Again, a moment where, like, I love Garrus's voice, or Turian voices. I know you guys keep agreeing with me, and I keep saying it, but I really like it.
What happened? Why were you investigating him?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly.
Oh.
We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
They usually get a few of those. It's like, oh yeah, we get a few, like, body part black market people. Yeah, is this common?
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one Elcor diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs. Had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
What did you find?
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Saleon, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles?
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility, counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
Oh.
Somebody's making a killing out there.
So, well, what about the doctor?
What'd you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation, to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Interviewing?
You mean threatening? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up, and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Saleon's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
That is very sick. I giggle because he's like, during the interview, he suddenly started to bleed. And I figured he was roughing him up a little bit, and hence the suddenly started to bleed. But apparently he was bleeding because of what the doctor did to him. So less funny. Well, not funny at all, but you get my point. I'm rambling. So yeah, that's extremely sick.
He was growing parts inside these people?
Ugh.
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off.
Do it again?
Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them.
Oh, gosh.
Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
Yeah, bastard.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Oh no, what happened?
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
What? So yeah, they just let him go?
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but C-Sec headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs, but they wouldn't listen.
Yeah, kind of. I would agree. They are kind. I mean, like, you can make an argument that if you shot the ship so close to the Citadel, it could have caused damage. But Garrus is right. They're kind of idiots. They could have waited or sent other people after them, right? Or done anything other than nothing.
No wonder you hated it there. Those idiots just let him fly away.
Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
No, it's better to do something than nothing. They could disable the ship, yes. Yes, I agree with it. There's something else to say.
A few casualties is a small price to pay to stop someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those hostages might be wishing they'd died by now anyway.
Yeah.
Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Dr. Saleon? I mean, I don't want to be heartless, but like, you know, they let this monster just out there to continue to like grow organs in other people, then chop them up and sell them and then redo it all over again. Like, anyway.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Saleon?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart. His idea of a joke, I guess.
Probably.
I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
Oh, can we go find him?
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Saleon, I want to be there when you find him.
Oh, yeah. You could shoot him in the face. I'm fine with that. So Garrus, find Dr. Saleon. Garrus told you about his encounter with Dr. Saleon, the geneticist. He regrets letting him escape the first time and hopes that you'll be able to track him down and bring him to justice. So head to the coordinates. Head to the Herschel system in the Kepler Verge. Oh yeah, and I did try to go through all these assignments to try to correlate them and organize them, and like nothing that I could tell was overlapping, and I was getting annoyed and I just gave up. So we're just gonna do what we normally do and wing it. So let's save and talk to Ashley.
Commander?
How are we doing?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Gotta admire those colonials. That's about the worst place for a colony I've ever seen. Given the option, I'd get the hell out of Dodge.
I mean, like, let's be honest. If I landed on a planet and tried to make a go of it, and then I got mind controlled by a plant, and then I got freed, I would so be out of there. I would be back on Earth. Like, nope, we're not. We're just no. My adventurous spirit would be ended.
Do you have a few minutes to talk, one-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Kaidan in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Kaidan.
Are you interested in the lieutenant, Chief?
Fraternization is against regulations, ma'am. Don't ask, don't tell. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So tell me about your family.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Your dad?
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
Aw, that's so sweet. Your mom, I mean, not sweet for him that he didn't get as far in promotions, but it's sweet that he was so proud of his daughter. That's what I meant.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Oh, well, what did she... Geologist, she said? So, sisters.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
He would be. 4 girls. Oh, that's gotta be rough. Home.
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
Must be nice. Or yeah, you raised your sisters?
After helping raise them, your sisters still talk to you?
Oh.
Amazing.
Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
That's not really where I thought that was going to go, but tell me about it.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vidmails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Vidmails?
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
No means no, something changed and boys no control. So something, I'm guessing, well, yes, no means no, obviously. But something changed.
Sounds like that situation didn't last.
Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed.
Ugh.
She levered Mike face first into a tree and left.
Nice.
Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Yeah, did you guys call the cops?
Why didn't you tell the police?
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
Self-defense?
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
What about you?
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand to hand.
Of course. That totally fits with her. Dedicated of you, what happened to Mike? She must have hated that. What did happen to Mike?
Did anything happen while you were home?
My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look.
Okay.
She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her.
Whoa.
I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
Wow. That's like piece of work, that guy, right? Like,
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was going to end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
that sounds like a good way to go. So interesting story. Where was your father? That was pointless. That's so mean. But where was your dad during all this? I'm guessing he was on assignments?
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
You read poetry bored now? What's this crap? Tennyson, right? Is it Tennyson? I don't know. I don't do poetry. I've always liked that one. So you read poetry? Question mark. God, I hope, please don't be rude.
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Okay.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just don't spread it around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
Really? It's a good piece. She got so angry and sensitive.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home.
Oh.
Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though.
I'm sorry. No, yeah, sure he is. No, I feel like that's gonna be rude. So from the afterlife, watch. Let's go with the first one.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
Keep it to yourself. Of course not. Not my place to judge. Are you a fanatic? I do too. What do I want my Shepard to do? I mean, it's not a problem. So it's not my place to judge. But I don't know if I want her to. I think she would. I think so. Maybe. Let's go with it.
You know that old saw, there's never an atheist in a foxhole? Well, I've been in a lot of foxholes.
Yeah, I guess you have. I've met a few people who were really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something? I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
No, it was a great conversation. I loved hearing about her family. Anything else?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I should get back to my duty.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Okay, we'll do that.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Another Codex entry. Okay, I'll do inventory in a little bit. But let's check in with Wrex.
What do you want, Shepard?
Let's have a personal inquiry.
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Like?
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
So why leave? He just told us.
Why not stay and help your people?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
Really?
What happened?
I was betrayed. I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jarrod, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Salarians, each other. It didn't matter who, as long as we were fighting.
But what about you?
What did you want?
I just wanted Jarrod to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
I'm guessing Jarrod didn't, though.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes, a meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk.
Oh, no.
We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from and where we all go. It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
I'm guessing they all went and he killed them all. So it is risky, but I'm guessing he went, obviously.
Sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
He was your dad?
Jarrod was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest. That is why I left, and that's why I'll never go back.
Extinction, Gen of Age. I feel like family is the only other new one. I love the Krogan models. I really do. I love all the non-human. The human models are fine. They look fine. But all of the non-human ones are just, they're so good. But anyway, family.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You trying to make me cry, Shepard?
No.
I've got some unfinished business with my family, but that's all.
Well, go on.
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
I'm sensing a companion quest incoming. Another one. So armor.
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war. It's rightfully mine. Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now, it's in the hands of Tonn Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people. He's got several bases where he stores his goods, all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
Well, why don't we go look for it?
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Works for me, so good.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
So Wrex family armor after talking to Wrex, you learn that he's looking for his family's ceremonial armor. It was taken by the Turians after the Krogan rebellion, and now a profiteer named Tonn Actus has it. So where do we need to go? The Argos Row somewhere in the Argos Row cluster. I mean, like, the clusters are like made up of 4 different four different sections, and each section has a bunch of planets and stuff. Galaxy's huge, obviously. Okay, so let's talk to Tali and see what she has to say.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Staren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
Don't worry, you will. Like what? Like, give me an example.
What are you hoping to find?
Usually, people bring back something like a derelict ship we can use for salvage. But I need something bigger. There's a lot expected of me.
Why?
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board.
Oh.
He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
It's not royalty. I remember these are the guys who can overrule the decision, but once they do that, they have to quit, basically. So I don't think it's royalty, but let's see where that goes.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen, but it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
Preferential treatment? No, they probably give her a hard time.
You must get all kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up, But it's not all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
Yeah, that is a lot of pressure.
That must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
Yeah, what if we save the galaxy instead?
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian's ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Saren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
So what is the answer?
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Saren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Saren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
Let's ask about her father.
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
I feel like she's talking about her dad in the past tense like he died, but I don't feel like the way she was initially talking about him that he had died, so I'm a little confused. I may be reading too much into it, but anyway. So yeah, what about your mom?
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Maybe. Were you close to your dad?
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with, and he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant, like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility.
Oh.
I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
That's kind of sad.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
We've done the pilgrimage one, right?
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new...
Yes.
But no ship wants to... We set up... This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to
I want to
join.
talk about
like
something
what?
else.
Okay, that's everything.
I should go.
See you later.
No quest out of her? That's sad. I want to help her find the thing that she needs to find. Well, I believe that is all of my crew that I need to talk to. Well, my squad that I need to talk to. I do want to stay down here and work on upgrading their equipment and gear and looking to see if there's anything that I can purchase for Shepard perhaps, but I'm going to do that off camera as it were and actually pause here for today. So in tomorrow's video, I want to head to the galaxy map and poke around there. I kind of want to do one of the companion quests, but I also want to do some of these other quests as well. I may just start at the bottom and work my way up and kind of see what happens from there, but who knows? I'll look at my quest log again and you'll find out tomorrow. But anyway, as always, thank you so very much for watching. Please do keep yourselves safe, and I will see you again tomorrow with another new Mass Effect video.